So now comes the task of evaluating triple integrals. So before we start that, let's recall how we went about evaluating double integrals over a 2D region. So you might remember that what we needed to do primarily is focus on our region R, and we had to make a choice, and we had to determine whether we would integrate with respect to y first or with respect to x first. So we had to determine if our region was y simple or x simple. And y simple meant that the region was enclosed between two curves, two functions of x. And x simple meant that the region was enclosed between two functions of y. So that is what we had to determine, and that allowed us to set up our limits of integration. So we're going to have a similar situation with triple integrals. We're first going to explore one possible setup, and then I'm going to talk about why it's not the only one. So let's suppose, and I'm going to go back and try to make some parallels between how we worked with those double integrals. So one possible setup. So let's suppose that we have a region D, and the function defined on that region. I should start with that. I am going to start with that. Let's suppose that f is a continuous function defined on a region in space. So D is in space, such that D is as follows. D is a set of points in space where x is between two constants, y is between two functions of x. Oh, I won't use f. Let's say little g of x and little h of x. And z is between two functions of x and y. So let me sketch our region and take a look at what's going on here. So let me grab a different color and sketch our region. So here's our z-axis, our y-axis, and our x-axis. And the situation that we're looking at is we have some region that is enclosed between two surfaces. And they're along z because we know that z is between two functions, both of x and y. So we would call this function at the top h of xy, the surface here, and this surface g of xy. So our region looks like this. It is enclosed between two surfaces along z. And all right, so there's our setup. Now, once we figure out, right, what we do here is we have to figure out the region on the xy plane. So the way that we're going to do that is imagine that you're standing above the two regions, and you shine some light through the regions, and you look at the shadow or footprint of those regions, of that intersection of the regions, for example, on the xy plane. So here, the shadow of these guys might be a region on the xy plane that looks like this. We're going to call this our region R, and this is our region D. So D is in space, R is on the xy plane. And the way that we're going to integrate is we pick a point, fix x and fix y. I did that backwards. Fix x and fix y, pick a point. And for that point, we're going to sum up all of the values of our function vertically along all of the points between our two surfaces. And once we have, and what that will look like is as follows. So when we fixed x and y and we sum up all of the values of our functions along z, we are evaluating an integral that goes from g of xy to h of xy. And we have our function f of xyz, and we are integrating with respect to z. We have held both a x and y constant, and we add up the values of the function along an axis parallel, a line parallel to the z-axis. Okay, once we have done that, the work that we need to do is on the region on the xy plane. Because if we've gotten that sum, then we're going to have to sweep that along the y-axis, so keep x fixed, and sweep that over the y-axis, and we're going to get some areas of those sums, of the first sums, right? So we sweep it along the x-axis, we're going to get some areas, and that's going to be our second integral. So really what we're left with after the first one is a double integral and a little dA. And now we're trying to figure out how to do that. Well, that's going to be exactly how we do double integrals. Once we've done the inside, then the double integral is really about choosing y simple or x simple once again. In the way that I've drawn it, I've kept x fixed and summed up all of those vertical lines through y, which means my order would be that my y goes from lowercase g of x to lowercase h of x, right? So we're thinking of this piece as h of x and this piece as g of x, and I'm integrating through y. We already have our inside integral going from capital G of xy to capital H of xy of f of xyz dz. And now we know that we're going dy next. And finally, we're going to integrate from a to b along x, and that's going to give us the volume of our region, but it will be multiplied by the function value here. So it would be a hypervolume, or the volume of a hypersurface, or the mass of this whole region, of the region D. So the next step would be integrate with respect to x. We're going to integrate from a to b, and that's going to define our triple integral. And that is our setup. So this is if we choose z simple. I think the one thing that I need to mention is that may not be the easiest thing to do. What you want to consider is, when you look at your region in space, what two curves are enclosing the region and along what axis. So dv really has a possibility of having 6 different permutations, right? We could have a dz, dx, dy. We could have dz, dy, dx. And so there are 2 possibilities for whatever I choose first. So dy, dz, dx, dy, dx, dz, and dx, dy, dz, dx, dz, dy. Now, Fubini's theorem for triple integrals tells us that we would get the same measure no matter what order we use. So it's really a choice for us to make. My suggestion would be try as much as possible to stay z simple first. And that's because then your region R is going to be on the xy plane, which we're used to working in. Now, that may not always be possible. It may be too difficult because of how our functions might be written. But that is my suggestion. If you can, start with a z simple integral.